If we got single, we'd be hot girls.
100%.
Anyway, hello. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming back.
So we are going to be having a catch-up episode this week.
Yeah.
And it's the best one.
What are you confused about there? We always do the weekly.
I don't know. So it's going to be juicy.
It will be juicy.
And
I know it's juicy because we got our little sippy cups.
Can we do cheers?
If I can reach you. These are the cups that were way too expensive and Brian did not want us to buy in London, but we were like, fuck it, we're in London. So, Brian, roll the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome
The Unfiltered Bride Podcast. Tips from the top table and beyond.
so you know it's going to be juicy.
We're very excited to announce our new sponsor for this month is Holly Robinson Jewelry.
You may have heard us mention Holly before, as she designed and created my gorgeous ring stack and even worked with Brian to get me the perfect engagement ring, so I am forever indebted to her.
Holly burst onto the wedding scene in 2018 after working for High Street Jewellers. She offers a no-nonsense, creative and refreshing approach to wedding jewelry.
From engagement and wedding rings to eternity rings and special gifts, Holly is the trained gemologist and jewelry designer behind the business with decades of experience. She's able to bring your jewelry dreams to life.
Teaming an understanding of current trends with old school traditions, factoring in your lifestyle, preferences and inspiration, Going Bespoke never looked or felt so good.
Holly can be visited at her offices in Cirencester or has the option for home visits. She travels across the UK and abroad to work with her clients.
I highly recommend getting in touch with Holly, whether it's a wedding band to fit that unique engagement ring or those perfect earrings for your big day. Holly has you covered.
We've popped all of her information in the description below, so go and check her out. Brian.
Anyway.
Do you remember Brian Badante?
No. Who's that?
What was that from? No. Phone Jacker.
No.
It's Brian Badante.
You know I don't watch programmes like that. Sorry, hun.
But you just told me that you watched Little Britain.
Yeah, I got forced to when I was a kid. Anyway, moving on. Swiftly on. So we've got our cups.
So I put my cup. This is not advertising, but they do go, and now my nails go as well. That
Same,
I'm
my
buzzing.
nails match.
Look at us.
We're going to spill the tea, even though it's not tea. What have you got in yours?
Squash, what have you got?
Like flavoured water.
I've just ordered some protein squash that I didn't know existed.
Oh, Georgie's on this like health kick.
I mean, it's not a health kick. It's not a health kick. It's not a diet. It's not a health kick. It's nothing. I'm moving into a hot girl era. I've never had one before. I've had a mum era. I've had a business era. And now I'm in hot girl era.
You don't have time. It's peak wedding season. You are
No.
dumb.
Because I can do both. Why have I don't need to stop off at the services after a wedding and get 3 chocolate bars.
So what are you going to do? Stop up at the gym at like 2 a.m?
No. But I'm going to
24-hour
I'm
gym?
going to get home and I'm going to be like, cool, what have I got? But I'm also going to plan my meals, so I'm not going to have this issue.
You're going to eat your Supplier meal still?
Yes. Yeah.
You're going to eat that dessert?
Yeah, because I'm counting my calories.
Mm-hmm.
So if it fits with my calories, I'm having it.
Excuse me, chef. Can you tell me how many calories are in this
jus?
sticky toffee pudding?
Oh, I fucking love a sticky
Me
toffee
too.
pudding.
That is elite pudding in it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They never give suppliers puddings.
Shut up.
This is something that I wanted to bring up, so I'm just going to bring it up at the start.
Okay.
Right, let me put my cup down.
Wait, what's been happening?
No, we're not there yet. Hold on.
What's been happening?
This month. No, I saw a TikTok literally on my way here. Somebody tagged me in it, and no shade on the girl because she was like, "Oh, I just don't understand." And she was like, "Why am I getting a supplier?" So let's just say photographer. Why am I getting my photographer a meal when I've paid them $2,000 to come and do my wedding?
Are you going to give me a fridge to put my lunch in?
Thank you. So I was genuinely answering it. But I thought we should probably talk about it on the podcast because I can see it from other people's point of view. And Brian was even like, obviously Brian being Brian, arguing with what I said. So in the car, he was like, well, other people can't. And I was like, at a wedding, there is no fridge to put it in. You can't access food easily. It's not like you're on site and you can go to the caterers. Oh, do you mind just whacking up another vegetarian meal? And you can't leave because if you leave, especially as a photographer, you'll miss stuff.
And also, it needs to be a substantial meal. You're there all day. It's not like, oh, let's have a quick sandwich.
I have tried to bring food and it does not work.
If you want your suppliers to perform well, they need to be fed and watered. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be like a glass of Sauvignon Blanc.
I hate this is bad, but I hate venues that charge suppliers for drinks.
Me too.
It's actually disgusting. Especially, maybe me so much, but like
when people are enhancing your venue.
Yeah, they want the photos though, don't they? But they'll still charge you £1.50 for a lemonade. And I'm not talking about alcohol because like if people want alcohol, I'm more than happy. Coffee and soft drinks should be free for suppliers.
You want us to tag you in your photo?
Yeah.
In your
you want us to help you when you're a staff member down and run some food, yeah.
we actually agree.
Look at us. I just think I think it's rude. First of all,
we're all in the same industry
Yeah.
together. We all should work together. I get it. Sometimes venues have rules. Sometimes they don't. However, we went to a venue. We did a wedding a couple of weeks ago, and oh my gosh, he was so accommodating.
Oh my god, yes.
He was like, oh, can we just have some water, please?
Can we call it out?
Yeah,
This is Talkworth Court.
Talkworth Court.
Elvis, his name
Elvis,
was. He was an
shout out to you.
absolute angel.
Great energy.
Yep.
Great vibe.
Yep.
Nothing stressed.
Let us
him
do
out.
what we were doing, but equally like, can I get you guys a drink? Oh my god, yeah, water's fine. No, what do you want? Do you
He's
want
like,
lemonade?
don't be boring.
I was like,
hopefully we didn't
lemonade.
get him told off, but it was a pleasure to be there, be
Totally
around
agree.
him, and I actually look forward now to going, hoping that I have Elvis there.
100%, because I won't recommend, like genuinely, I obviously try and recommend the correct suppliers for couples, but if the venues have been awful, I'm not recommending them, because I know that they probably won't be nice to couples, and you don't want your suppliers turning up somewhere and just being literally treated like shit.
Honestly, there is nothing worse. So there's a few venues again that we've asked not to be recommended at.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Because it's like I've said this so many times. Yes, you're paying us.
Yeah.
But we can do what you're paying for, or we can do way above.
Yeah.
And if we're treated right, sometimes like.
But what do you do if you're the couple though? As the couple, how do you get around that?
I think you make it very clear when you've got a coordinator who's not at the venue.
Yeah.
You let them know whatever they do is Bible.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you walked in and said to Elvis, I'm going to use him as an example.
Yeah.
I have been paid to be the wedding coordinator on the day. I'm here to make decisions on behalf of the bride and groom, and
Yeah.
my decision's final. And he was like, absolutely not a
I
problem.
said it nicer than that.
But
No.
And he was like,
It's
absolutely
true.
great,
Yeah.
not a problem, as long as we've got our side covered.
Yeah.
We're happy.
And my job is like I care about and equally don't care about all suppliers. Like nobody has preference to me on what is happening. So when you tell me you need the aisle bigger, I'm like, cool, I go to Elvis. Can we do the aisle bigger? Yes, but we need access for the back for a wheelchair. Cool, right, okay. Let me find a middle ground here that means everybody, and I'll make this decision. What, babe?
So you don't favour me?
Well, to be fair, on that wedding,
Yes, because the most important thing for her was decor.
However, we still got to get a wheelchair in. Decor or no decor.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we had that fucking
But
white carpet.
was my call of
What's your
making
call?
the aisle bigger
Oh
correct?
yeah, of course it was.
Thank you.
I'd never doubt your decision on decor, but we just have to make it work.
If you're a supplier and you stand on my fresh white carpet ever again, me and
It
you,
wasn't right. So let me explain what happened. I feel like this wedding's going to come up a lot because it was a banger.
I'm like slitting my neck at you to be
Slitting
like,
your neck. You can't say that.
slit. Why?
What?
I'm going to kill you if you sit
Oh.
on my white carpet.
So it wasn't, there was a few suppliers, but as soon as they knew, they didn't. So we then had, bearing in mind that I had another coordinator with me on the day, we had the groomsmen at the door, we had my coordinator stood at the first point of the carpet, I was stood at the second point of the carpet so that people would go around it to go and sit on the other side. We got right up until, and I swear to God, it was probably the last 4 guests that came in. 2 of them walked past Kat, my one supplier, and then straight onto the carpet and down the aisle. And the groom was stood there like, are you joking? Like, we made it very obvious that you're not supposed to be walking on the thing. I then had to try and, your bloody plinths that were then balancing flowers on, I was trying to then get my massive ass past those to try and wipe off a bit of the thing that this guest had put on the carpet.
So
Idiot.
there were photographers and videographers, which are lovely. They were great. They're amazing. Their work's incredible. No shade.
But
They were stood on my white carpet.
No.
And do you know what? At this point, I was hot. It was hot that day. I had no patience. I looked at Georgie and I went, get them off my fucking white carpet now. And she's like, here's a bit of, I think it's like paper or something. That's what you can stand on.
Yeah. No, he ended up doing the splits over it, didn't he?
Love you for that. And then someone from the venue
Just walked straight past.
was not Elvis. Elvis was great.
No.
And I literally went, are you fucking joking? And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, that was meant to stay in my head and it didn't come out. But anyway, I don't know.
I forgot how because we were talking about how nice the venue staff were. So that went even further back to my, yes, you should be feeding suppliers on the day. I totally get this annoying. I totally get that every other job in the world has to bring their own lunch. However, it's just not, and I promise I've tried, because I have tried to bring food, and because it'll be very DIY or something like that where I do need to bring food. It just doesn't happen.
I think it's also a point where they're like, oh, your food's ready. That's like, okay, I can sit down and eat because I need to eat.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have lunch, you'll be like,
Oh, never sit down. The one time I did bring lunch recently, I left it in the car. I then went out to go and get, because obviously there's nowhere else to put it.
Did it
I
get
can't bring all my
moist?
stuff. It was hot. and it was
it sweating?
It was sweating. It was a cucumber soft cheese bagel. I didn't eat it because it was actually like
vile,
disgusting.
So leading on from people saying that you shouldn't, like, why do suppliers need meals?
Oh yeah.
So I'm currently dealing with a situation. By the time this, and actually no, by the time it goes out, wouldn't have done the wedding. The bride is lovely, so the bride might listen to this. You're great, you're amazing, not your fault. So the venue require us to be out by 3 a.m. that night.
What?
Yeah, so collection at 1, out by 3 a.m.
Shut up.
So
where how local?
3 hours away from us. So bride never mentioned it when she booked. She might have missed it in the contract, whatever.
Yeah.
She's not blaming us. Like, she's like just trying to resolve it. Venue were like, no, we've got our cleaners coming at 3 a.m. And I was like, all right, night shift.
Right.
Anyway, fine. If that's the case,
they got a wedding the next day.
Yeah, if that's the case, that's the case. But I was like, not too sure what you want me to say. She called me today, the venue.
Yeah.
And was like, yeah, so I don't really know what you want me to do. Like, she kept speaking over me. Could tell, maybe just judging, maybe her voice was, she's a bit of an older woman.
Yeah.
Not sure. And she was like, well, like everyone else normally comes at midnight, blah blah. And I was like, well, I'm not everyone else.
But also, do they?
And anyway, all the other venues locally do it. I was like, we are from 3 hours away. I'm not a one-man band.
Yeah.
I'm not coming out my way to do it. Like, it's 3 hours away. By the time my team leave, they'd have to drive back, and then, like, it's literally, it is not fair. HR would not allow it. There has to be rest periods, XYZ. And I listed all of these. I was like, we're not a small company. It's not an individual. I'm not a sole trader, so it's not my back. Like, my insurance is invalid if they don't have the right rest period. So, long story short, and she kept talking over me. She was like, she's like, what's the solution? I was like, if we get paid for accommodation, there'll be 3 of us.
Yeah.
We can stay once we've done it, collect at midnight.
So, what are the cleaners really coming in at night, or what time do you actually have to be out?
So then she was like, well, if you have a few bits, you can be out at 8. And I was like, we're 3 hours away. I was like, the earliest my team can leave is 6 a.m. Like, my team are not leaving at 4 a.m., not 5 a.m. The earliest that my team can get here are 6 a.m. for driving purposes and insurance and all that fun stuff.
They can get there at 6 a.m. or they can leave here at 6 a.m.
So we're 3 hours away.
7, 8, 9. Okay.
But and she was like, well, that's not going to work. So then the next bit really riled me. I said, yeah, so we need accommodation and our expenses paid for. Like, we're happy to do it. It's actually a really busy weekend, so it's probably going to put us out. Yeah. But to get this whole situation resolved, like, the bride has said, if that's what it is, like, that's what it is. Like, we'll reserve a room for you at the venue.
Who has to pay for that?
The bride.
Okay, yeah.
Or the venue were like, oh, how can we, like, we don't want to put it on the bride, blah, blah, blah. So, like, we were trying to come up with solutions, but unfortunately, this is where we stand. And I'm really not being unreasonable. Yeah. Because we categorically do not do midnight collections, and we don't take bookings that do unless our accommodation is paid for. Fine. It's just, I think it's cruel. Like, I think it's unreasonable. You're there all day. I cannot make my teams do it. I wouldn't have a team. No. I wouldn't work for anybody that, if I had to then, if I didn't do night shifts, like, it wasn't part of my job, I wouldn't be going anywhere with it. So our insurance is invalid. Anyway, long story short, she was like, so we'd need accommodation and food. Food provided, and also it can't just be like a double bed. Like, our teams can't be sharing the same rooms. No. We've got same sex workers. This is our policy. HR would go to town on me. She was like, well, that's really unreasonable. That's not unreasonable. These people don't know each other enough to sleep in the same. That's a bit excessive. And I was like, who are you to tell me? She was like, I've been doing this for 4 years now. I've probably done a midnight collection once or twice out of the hundreds of weddings that I've done. Yeah. You can't sleep in the same. If I was going on a work trip, I wouldn't even want to sleep in the room with Brian. But you can't expect people to sleep. I mean, it's not, like, it's dangerous, isn't it? Well, like, for example, like, we've got a big event coming up, and one of our clients has booked a house for us to stay in, because there's like 8 or 9 of us. And I was like, look, some of my girls are happy to, like, share twin rooms. Like, as long as everyone's kind of got a bathroom and a bit of space, they're happy to do that. But if we go to hotels, everyone has to have a separate room. But when our clients know that, they're happy to do that and happy to pay for us because they want us there. Well, the thing is, they'll decide that at the start. How dare you? The audacity. Say we're unreasonable. Like, I get it. When I was small fry and someone needed a flower wall collect at midnight, I'd probably go because it's that I'd want the booking and all that. How much stuff have you got there? A lot. The whole styling. Yeah. And I just thought, you know what? Like, we'd leave here at 6, get there for 9, be out by 10. Yeah. Oh, it's a tricky one, Put all our stuff to one side. Yeah. Which a lot of venues will do, but no. We're having glassware charge plates. They're all going to be cleared anyway.
Yeah,
after the wedding breakfast.
So,
and then we've got an arch, and they were like, we can't clean around that. I was like, you can.
You can though, can't you?
You
Come
can.
on, Judy, you can.
But do you know what? Sometimes I feel like venues are just difficult for being difficult, and that really annoyed me today. I was like, how dare you say to me we're being unreasonable and
my least favourite thing is venues to being horrible.
And they will categorically have told the bride that they think it's not reasonable, that it's unreasonable that we're requesting that.
It's really not though, is it?
We are human beings.
Yeah.
Like, nice to suppose we have rights.
God's sake.
But like, why?
We need a spa treatment if we're staying this long.
Well,
you love a spa.
I'd love a spa, but like I said, my client who booked us a big house, she was like, "Oh no, I'm not putting you in that." I was like, "Literally, we need a bed to sleep in. I will have an IBIS, a Holiday Inn, Premier Inn. Shout out to all of them. The cheapest one.
I always
option.
go Premier Inn. You know what you're getting in Premier Inn, and I always say to my couples that book accommodation, like, I'll book accommodation, but charge them for a Premier Inn. I don't need fancy.
You'll pay for a band to stay. You'll pay for a band to have food. You pay for that band to have a rider.
Yeah.
What's different?
I know. I do think, because I thought that the other day. I was doing something quite far away, and I always I put in the mileage, and I genuinely go on Premier Inn and work out the nearest accommodation as well. Put that amount, and even I look at it and I'm like, oh fuck, that's expensive.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you'll if you want that person, it's part of the cost, isn't it? It's part of the package.
Pay for someone who's local to you. Yeah. Obviously, you don't want them. Like, it's part of our service. We need to perform properly, and we need to be safe doing it.
Fair.
Like, you can't expect someone to
drive. Are you staying over there then?
Well, the lovely bride. Lovely bride just texted me saying, oh, like, just spoke to the venue, blah blah, like, we can reserve you a room at the venue. You're more than happy to have a sit down. You can literally, I'll reserve you a seat on the wedding the wedding breakfast. You can have a 3-course meal with us. Like, I don't need that, but like, that's the bride going, do you know what, like,
do what you know,
like, for a couple of hours in the morning. Granted, if the next couple was getting married at 10 a.m, fair.
I doubt they will be.
Doubtful. Probably one. But like, just put it, like, they're like, we haven't got any room for anything. Surely you've got a side room.
Oh, venues.
So that was my drama today.
Venues are either fantastic or disgusting. There's no in between. There's none that are just like...
Do you think I'm being unreasonable?
No, but I think it's something that needs to be flagged very clearly at the start from venues.
Yeah,
because otherwise, if that was the case, at least the bride would have known 2 years before, and then been like, "Look, this is what it's going to be." You would then go, "Well, we need accommodation and food and blah blah blah,"
and we'd put it in the costings.
Yeah, but this is the same as when you say about suppliers needing food. I'm not genuinely not saying it to be annoying, but if there isn't food, I will have to go and get food. And if something happens, I'm not there.
Or just book you from 10 until 3 and do a shorter shift. Do you know what I mean? Like, if
I don't do that, but yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's just
the rules. It's just rules is rules.
Actually,
are you all right?
All our clients are always fine with it. When you tell them, or that no one ever has gone to me, oh, that's a bit, like, it's just the venue that has today. And I just really
winded you up, did it?
Really pissed me off. Anyway, so that was my drama from today.
Okay. I don't really have any drama today.
What else has been happening this month?
It's all part of my hot girl era, but did you see the colour analysis thing?
Yeah, that was
You
cool.
need to go and have it done.
Yeah, I know.
It's literally changed my life. And I think, and I'm putting this out here.
But you're not wearing a colour today.
Yeah, white is one of my colours. White. But it has to be crisp white. I can't do beige. I know. So I reckon I can wear this once until I wash it and ruin it.
Oh, do you know what? I'm awful at washing white clothes.
Awful. I don't wash my clothes. Brian does.
I'm awful at it.
I don't understand at what point, being an adult, you learn how to do this.
Yeah.
Because nothing I do stays white. Not white.
Yeah,
white. Can't you just bring it here to wash it with linens?
Yeah, maybe.
They stay white.
Hi guys, can you do my laundry as well?
Anyway, let me tell you about my colour analysis.
Hi Martin, it's Linda.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Little bro.
So anyway, colour analysis thing. Basically, put loads of different colours on you and then figure out if you're spring, summer, winter or autumn.
That's great, but what's it got to do with weddings?
Because, first of all, 3, how many reasons do you want?
10.
10, fuck. Okay, I haven't got 10. I'll try, we'll see how far. First of all, I think it would be a brilliant mother of the bride present.
Yes.
Think of getting that, like, the Christmas before their wedding, and then they know what colour. Like, genuinely, I shop now.
God, you do talk some sense sometimes.
Don't I?
Like, I will give you that one.
I think that's the best mother gift I've ever heard of.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, there you go. can have that one. But imagine them
Just to
shopping
let
for your
everyone know
thing.
if everyone has forgotten from last week's episode.
What?
Georgie is a mum.
That was my other drama.
And she's breastfed.
No, what?
You're a
I'm
mum
not still
and
breastfed.
she's getting breastfed.
Let me address this.
So if you don't know,
you do the backstory and then I'll explain myself.
last week's episode,
First of all, I'm not used to the hate. It's normally Beth that gets that, not me.
was it last week's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where we said, how do you feel about people saying no to invites, blah blah blah? And I said, well, if it's a legit reason, and then we were like, well, what's a legit reason? And we're having a lot of our clients say, well, they're new mums, they're breastfeeding, XYZ. So Georgie gave a great tip.
Thank you.
To say if you want to come to the wedding and you are breastfeeding your 4-week-old baby called Dave, pretty niche, but there might be a few of you out there, to go to a room and dip in and out, have a family member in the room.
Yeah.
My oh my!
We broke the internet.
You guys were not happy.
Right, I'd like to set some things.
Everyone
here.
said, ignorant, obviously never had kids. Oh, yeah, you're right. I haven't had kids, but Georgie has, and Georgie has breastfed. So shove it up your ass.
So let me just clarify all of those bits. First of all, it was purely a tip.
I'm not forcing you.
No. I'm just gonna. You're like, it's just a tip. It was just an idea that I've actually seen happen at several weddings. It also gives the mum a bit of privacy. It also, people are on about what if they're not in the right space, blah blah blah. It purely depends on where you're at in your breastfeeding baby journey. It might be kid number 4 and you can whack that boob out 30 seconds, see you later. It's like a shot, like you're fine. shot of milk,
titty shot.
And also then people were also saying it's really bad to shame people for declining an invite.
Why?
Right, it's still upsetting if somebody declines an invite to a wedding.
Doesn't make the no any nicer.
No, absolutely not. Like, all 4 people saying I'd rather someone say they can't come than say they can come and then not come. And I'd rather say they can't come if it's going to really put them out. However, it doesn't make the no any nicer.
I feel like if someone is inviting you to their wedding, they think a lot of you to invite you to your wedding, and would expect you to come.
Yes.
Without any other excuse, unless it's a legitimate reason.
Yes. Like, but then this was our point of what's legit.
If you broke your leg and you were in hospital and you actually couldn't get out of hospital.
But then what's legit to decline the invite? If you've already booked a holiday. Like, if you've booked and paid for a holiday.
Let me tell you that. I changed my holiday for my friend's wedding.
Aww.
And it cost me a fortune.
Aww.
But I changed it.
Good mate.
But I get people that wouldn't do that for my...
Yeah, like, if you suddenly... Oh, I'd have to change it for yours. But if you've suddenly going to...
Nah, you're right. Don't want
my honeymoon, I probably don't want to change it. But, like, I think there are some legitimate reasons. However, it's still annoying.
Yeah, and like with people in the forces and stuff when they've got... Like, it's...
Like, I get it. I'm not saying you shouldn't decline. I'm just saying
we were saying if you're just declining with just because you can't be asked.
Yeah. And if you want to breastfeed a baby, and if, first of all, if you can afford to get a room there, sorry, should have thingied that at the start. And if you're lucky enough to have family that would help, sorry, should have thingied that at the start. It's just a fucking tip. Nobody moaned about the tips for everything else, have they? And yes, I did breastfeed. So you can all get fucked.
Over and out.
Sorry, I'm just not used to... I don't like the...
I love it because Georgie got the hateful ones.
I just don't like the criticism. I literally wouldn't read them.
I was rubbing my hands together like, yeah, keep going. Was it
you?
Yeah, I got the trolls on you.
Brian literally sat there in our office and he was like, oh my God, have you seen all the messages? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, that video. And I was like, you fucking put that video on to make me look like a asshole.
Yeah, Brian does all the editing, so we actually don't know what goes out.
I am pro mum breastfeeding,
right.
Look after yourself, blah blah blah. But in my head, if you know you're gonna have a 4-week-old baby at that point, you probably would have declined.
Yeah.
If you want to come and bring the baby, there's an option. Anyway, back to my colour theory. I was giving you more reasons. I also think, like, if I'd done it before my hen do, I would have been able to pick way better choices.
You were white.
Yeah, but like what kind of white? It wasn't crisp white. I should have always got crisp white. Mm-hmm. It was fun. You should do it with bridesmaids. I think it'd be a good hen do activity, actually.
Yeah. Is it expensive?
Yeah, it was £150. Yeah, but it did makeup as well. Like, it's literally changed my life.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all my reasons. I can't think of any more. But that was my big news from the last month.
So what else has happened this month?
I did 2 weddings. I was just giving people a bit of an idea. I did 2 weddings in the same week that couldn't have been further away from each other in vibe, decor, attitude. No, not even attitude. But like, I did the one that we did at Tortworth. Super well put together, super styled, super traditional.
But things went
What?
wrong.
We'll come on to that. Hold on. Let me finish this bit and then we'll go back to that. What was I doing? And then the other one was at Uridge Manor. Stun, by the way.
I loved all the little, like, was it the fans with the umbrellas?
Yeah, the umbrella, what are they called?
Parasols?
Parasols. And it was so chilled. Like, there wasn't a formal food bit. It was like, go over to the street van. You would have hated it because they went over to the van in a wedding dress.
No, I said I'm fine with vans.
Oh, the vans. Sorry, you don't like the chafing dishes.
Buffet station.
Buffet. And it was like, sit where you want. There was just some tables under the pagoda bit. There was something under the teepee. And it was just,
Nice.
do what you want. Do what you want. Here's a first dance. Maybe we'll do a deep dip in it. Yeah, cool. See you later. It was
Nice.
banging. They were both stunning weddings. Totally different. So it's just a little reminder for everybody. You do you, babes. Are normal. Go, what you were going to say? Yes, stuff went wrong at that wedding.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Wait, the bride doesn't know a lot of this, does she?
She'll now know.
So go on.
But she's so cool. She wouldn't
So you're the planner.
coordinate.
So
Yeah.
you would know what went wrong. So let's go.
Okay. What should we do? It? How many things went wrong, would you say?
I don't know because I didn't see it all.
2 I know of. Yeah, 2. I'd say 2. Apart, unless you call walking down your white carpet.
Nah.
So number 1 was a little one. But if the bride knew about it on the day, I think she would have lost it.
Oh, do I know this one?
The cake topper broke.
Oh no, I know 3.
Oh, what's the 3rd? I'll do
Dad.
2. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, 3. Okay, yeah, no. So the smallest thing that happened then was the cake topper broke.
Yep.
It's all right. I got Gorilla Glue in my bag, fixed it. It was one of those mirrored ones. So little tip, if they're not expensive, buy 2 because it's not the first time I fixed a cake topper.
Or what you can do is get like they're like the acrylic cutout, but what you can do is get like a back in.
Yeah, keep it in it.
What do you mean?
You know when they cut
like
it out?
like a neon sign, you know, have an acrylic backing of it.
Yeah.
You can get that on them, so they're like
Oh.
basically it's where you have the swirly writing and the joins are so thin.
Yeah.
They just snap.
I was going to say you keep it in, you know, the cardboard that it normally comes in. Don't take it out of that. Just leave it. And then when it doesn't
they did
get-
that anyway.
No, not sorry. Right, how do I explain this? Like a puzzle piece, you know when it slots in.
Yeah.
So it's actually in the cutout,
Oh, they don't send
not
them like
cardboard.
that.
Yeah, that's what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Because they come broken a lot.
All get to.
Or have Georgie as a coordinator. She'll fix it with Gorilla Glue.
Yep.
So that was a small one, which I don't think the bride still knows. So here you go. I fixed your cake topper. And when you look back at the photos, you won't even see it. Number 2, I was up with the bride and groom in their bedroom. Hold on. They were freshening up. And then I was bringing them over to see the room for the first time. So it had gone from ceremony, etiquette, turned the room around to be wedding breakfast. As we said, they were super into the styling, so the decor was important. So they were coming in to see the room before everybody else did. Cool. So I went and got them, brought them, started walking over, and I said, we've got about 5 minutes because the photographers are shooting the room first. Should we go up and freshen up? Cool. So we go up to their room, and then I'm just about to leave with them, and I get a phone call from my other coordinator who I brought, and she was like, stall. I was like, pardon? Stall them. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. So I was like, yeah, cool. She told me nothing else. She just literally shouted stall at the phone to me and hung up, and I was like, cool, fine. So I was like, I think they're still taking photo, guys. Like, do you want to, I would top up your makeup actually. Do you want to just do that now? She looked great. She didn't need any top up. And he then did his hair and stuff like that. And I was chatting and just going super slow. And it turns out that in the room, literally just before, minutes before, one of the tables legs collapsed, which meant the entire table went, which meant all of etiquette stuff. What was on that table? Was it the tree?
So let me tell it from my point of view, because I was in the room.
I was just up in the bedroom with
tables,
them like...
By the way, we don't put tables out, so it wasn't etiquette's fault.
It's an easy thing to happen though. So if you're having a DIY wedding and you're putting up your own tables, you've got to click those legs in.
Yeah, so it must have been someone who set up the tables.
Easy mistake.
And to be fair, shout out Elvis. He actually even said, I remember him saying, make sure the legs are locked out. Like I heard him say it multiple times. We don't know what happened, but these things happen, is what it is. So we were all just like, waiting for the bride and groom, doing our little videos to TikTok. And then it was like, crash bang, and I was like, whoa, like literally when I say like crash, and the crashes kept coming,
like the glasses,
and I was like, whoa, what happened? I was like, I didn't know if one of our trees toppled. I was like, they've never toppled before, like they can't, like they don't topple.
And also, can I just say, this is also probably 15 minutes before guests are coming in.
Yeah.
So we haven't got time.
I'm glad I was there though. So I was
I would have cried.
Honestly, I was like crash. I looked at my team. We bolted it over. Elvis was there. We were all just literally like ants. Never moved so fast.
Ants.
Glassware smashed.
Did they have charger plates? Yeah.
Gone.
The
cutlery on the
tree.
floor. Bear in mind, we packed everything away at this point. Van was loaded. We were good. We were just
They were
about to
literally
leave.
fannying around, picking up like the final leaves off the floor because it was like done. And then that all happened.
So yeah, that all happened.
Yeah. And then so I then had to text my coordinator and was like seriously, how long? Because they were quite time conscious people anyway. And they were like, don't we need to be looking at the room now? And I was like, oh yeah, let's walk down. Let's go slowly. And I was like, have you got your speech? Do you want to check it? Like literally anything that I could possibly think of. By the time we walked into that room, bearing in mind, Kat had texted me what was happening. And I was like, fuck. So I just walked in sheepishly.
We had to do a full relay. I had to check there was no glass in any of the other glasses.
Yeah.
Like, there was like health and safety risks, like hoovering
sweep it all up,
sweeping
yeah.
it all up.
But they walked in, they were like, it's so beautiful in here.
Honestly, I was like, you didn't see it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. So that was number 2 that went wrong. And then number 3, which was hilarious, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So after the wedding breakfast, everybody then had like a chilled hour so that then the room could get turned around again. Bride had arranged a surprise first dance with her dad. So, and it was really cute actually because her dad had mentioned the song in his speech and everything. So it's clearly like a really big thing for them. So she was like, do a surprise first dance. I was like, oh, beautiful, love it. Okay, I'll make sure. And I normally make sure parents are by the dance floor anyway. So I was like, don't worry, I'll make sure he's there. So dad then rocks down 5 minutes before the first dance and he has changed he's changed from his tux into like a crew shirt. Like just a crew shirt and then like...
What do you mean crew shirt?
Like crew the brand.
Oh, okay.
So like it's quite cash. It's like that thicker material.
Yeah.
And then like these blue chinos. Like he looked great, but he did not look father of the bride. So she was furious and she was like, he needs to get changed. And I was like, for fuck's sake. So I went over to her and I was like, oh, you've got changed. She was like, yeah, I went casual. And I was like, oh, I don't think you should have done that yet. And he was like, yeah, no, I just want to feel more comfortable. I was like, oh, I really don't. I think you should change back. And he's like, I'm not changing back. And I was like, but you're going to be in the background of all the photos and things like that. He's like, I'm not changing back. And I was like, okay. So I went back into bride because obviously she said, don't let him know, like don't make it obvious. So I was like, okay, fine. So I went back into her and I was like, he doesn't want to change. Do you want me to make him? She was like, make him. And I was like, okay.
What the hell did you say?
So I went back out and it was hilarious because as I went back out, he was walking in telling somebody that I'd asked him to change. So I went, you need to get changed. And he was like, seriously, I've thrown my shirt on the floor. I was like, do you trust me? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, it's not appropriate. You need to go and get changed now. He was like, oh, fine.
I bet he was like,
he proper stropped off to the. He was actually really lovely, but I knew he stropped off. I knew he was swearing my name on the whilst trying to get his shirt back on. So then he came down and I got him on the dance. I can't remember what I'd said to him, but something like, You'll appreciate it when you see photos later when their first dance, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, she then comes on the dance floor and gets the microphone. She was like, Dad, I want to invite you for a father-daughter dance. And then he just looked straight at me and was like, okay, fair. But the photos would have looked shit.
Yeah.
And he would have felt shit.
Who are you dancing with me?
Who's your uncle you got off the side?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad that it worked out. But I think sometimes you need somebody who's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think she wanted him to change anyway. How do you feel about people changing into...
We've had this conversation.
No, but into comfies.
I just think you shouldn't.
Yeah, me
Especially
too.
if you're groomsmen in like bridal party.
Yeah, I agree. I don't, yeah. Yeah, so they were the things that went wrong. But this is the first the bride will know about it. And like, she won't care now.
Yeah.
Like nothing, it's not impacted her in any way whatsoever. She knew about the dad one.
But yeah, like things will always go wrong and good suppliers will protect you from it.
Yes.
Like,
every wedding I do, something goes wrong.
Like, for example, we had some issues this week with a bride that's getting married in 2 days.
What?
And they like just the venue brought it up to her, the photographer brought it up to her, and I was just like,
what?
It's about like a wet weather plan. I was like, I know my wet weather plan. She didn't want a wet weather plan because she was like, I'm categorically getting married outside. But I said, I've looked at the weather, it's going to rain.
Babes.
But I had a wet weather plan.
What's your wet weather plan?
Just move, like move the floors in a different way. Like the aisle will be too tight. She couldn't have meadows down it. But
move it inside.
But we'd do like it in the window, whatever. Like I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Why are you speaking to Bride 3 days before, stressing her out?
Yeah.
Literally, let me be. That's my problem, not yours.
Yes, agreed. I don't think anybody should tell a bride anything.
You don't need
on
to
the
know
day.
anything.
No,
It stressed her out even more.
Yeah.
But
But get good suppliers. That's what we're saying.
I will protect you from things you don't need to know. If you need to know them, I'll let you know. If not, then when we move.
100%. If people ask me a question, I'm like, I actually don't know what they'll want. I'll go and phrase it, but in a way chiller way than what the other person, like the florist, is saying.
No one filters it.
No. I agree. Literally agree. I feel like I am a filter.
You need to tell them. If it's important, you tell them the problem.
Yeah.
Here's my solution. Are you good with it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Agreed. So we've both missed big news. What we did the last month.
Ooh, we went to London as a throuple.
Did you hate it?
Oh, do you know what? I didn't mind it.
I think me and Brian are good.
No, when we were actually working, I was like, fine. And then we went out. I was like, oh, they're holding hands.
No, we weren't.
You actually were quite cute, actually, in the evening.
Were we?
Yeah, and I was like,
Must have been drunk.
Oh, Miss Jack. Miss Jack.
I did tell you to bring Jack.
He didn't want to come.
Okay, fine. But we did go to London, and it was pretty cool, actually.
We filmed something bloody exciting.
We can say it.
Oh, it's on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We interviewed two people from the new TV show, The Ultimate Wedding Planner.
And no, Georgie's not on it because it's for rookies.
It is for rookies. Yeah, it made me feel better when we learnt the premise of the show, which we're not allowed to tell you.
But when we're going to air it in the start of August, our episode.
Mid-August.
Mid-August,
yeah.
Sorry. And we watched the first episode and
yes,
it was one painful from an industry expert, so let's say that.
Yeah.
And
but fully entertaining.
But fully
like,
entertaining.
brilliant.
Like it's going to be a good, like brides to be, industry, like you actually going to realise how bloody hard we work behind the scenes.
One of them had to be, I don't know what I was saying. It's
No,
too late.
it's
too late. I don't know.
No,
but one of them, there's coordinator. The word coordinator is used. And I'm like, thank fuck somebody's actually saying what this is.
Did they?
Well, there was something. There was coordinating.
You can't. You're under strict instructions.
I said nothing. Literally, just that's my job title.
So yeah, that's a really good program coming out.
But
and great episodes that we've recorded the podcast with the judges,
Sarah Davies, who
and Raj.
we love, and Raj, who we also love, and they were both like totally different,
but
really good,
really cool,
informative,
and lovely people.
Yes, genuinely. Like, so my daughter Isla is a bit obsessed with Sarah Davies. So I had to tell her that she drew a picture.
It looked like she was on crack.
No, you can't. Isla might be here. She might be listening. So anyway, I gave this picture to her and she was really sweet and she signed a copy of a book and recorded Isla a little video.
Yeah,
and literally nearly made me cry.
She was lush.
It got you as well. I saw you.
Yeah.
You were like,
and
so cute for little
we were
Isla.
at BBC Studios, which was pretty cool.
And we had to act like it's very normal for us walking in with our BBC lanyards. But it was good. And then we watched the private screening of the first episode. It was, and had a little brunch.
Guys, if you don't think we're big time, we are genuinely big time.
Yeah. Like, look at us. Nobody would know that we're currently sat in a room. Nothing's propped up. Oh no, the light is propped up.
Yeah, Brian asked me to buy a new one, but I said until we get a better studio.
No, so we bought cups instead.
Yeah.
The light budget went on cups.
Yeah. Cups are cute though, if you're watching.
I should have appreciated that cake more because that was my last.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, sorry, London. We want more. I want more of that now. Now I've had a little taste of
The high life.
Yeah, I want it to keep going. I want more. How do we get more? How do I be the ultimate wedding planner?
You're a coordinator. You don't call yourself a wedding planner.
I am both. No, I do wedding planning.
Well, I know you do, but you'd like to be the
people's wedding planner.
Yeah.
Beth got an email today saying
so it was like with Gloucestershire's best wedding planner is Etiquette Event.
Dickheads.
Wee!
Never planned a wedding in her life.
I have. And I'm bloody good at it. What else is new this week? Oh, threads. I'm over it already.
I don't like it either.
I'm bored.
I'm gonna look. I don't understand. I don't understand. All it is, basically, for me, is Brian moaning about British banks and Holly talking about whatever's in her head.
I feel like if the concept was on like Instagram stories, that would kind of work a bit better.
Yes. Like mine doesn't seem to update. Does it close at night?
I don't know.
I read something, or somebody told me. Let me have a look. Does threads stop at night.
So if you're planning your wedding, are you using Threads? Yes or no? Do you want us to be on there? Yes or no?
Threads stop at midnight?
Nah, can't be.
I don't understand.
Oh.
Threadworm? What? That's different. Don't you think all social media should stop at a certain time of night?
No, because people do night shifts. Like we've
All right,
bloody
okay.
experienced
All
today.
right. Today. Oh yeah, we're doing a late film today.
Yeah.
I don't think I like Threads.
Okay, me too.
But are we going to miss out? It's like when my friend started TikTok in lockdown and I was like, this is some bullshit. I ain't doing this. And then was like,
I wish
if
I
I'd
did it
started
early on.
then, I might be.
I feel you.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we just carry on. How many followers have you got? I don't even understand. Ooh. Do they come across from
Yeah.
Instagram? Oh, okay.
Anyway.
No one likes any of my stuff. Okay. Do you want bitches from a bride?
Yes, I do.
Bitches from a bride. Okay.
Guys, we've had so many bitches from a bride. Paige is struggling to keep up.
Send them in. Keep them in. Okay. Hey. Reading the start of this is always funny because it's like, hey, your podcast is amazing.
Thank
you give such amazing advice and tips. Thank you. It's a bit of a long one, really. The situation is, my fiance is one of two sisters. My mother-in-law...
I was like, what, you got 3 fiancés?
My mother-in-law-to-be has fallen out with his 2 sisters. They literally don't talk and haven't for a while. She's also fallen out with my maid of honour, constantly slagging her off. She is the type of person to make it all about her, and I'm so worried she's going to create drama at the wedding. She's so bad that we are unable to invite the groom's dad and his wife. They're coming to the super small legal wedding, which she is not happy about, but we didn't know what else to do. To make it worse, she doesn't know anyone other than the groom, best man, daughter, and maid of honour. It's a destination wedding. We invited some people that she knows, and we know they're unable to make it. Any advice? Oh, she sounds like a bitch.
My advice would be, to your future husband, you need to sit down with your mum.
Ooh.
You need to have a one-to-one with her and say, these are the outlining rules. If you cannot behave on my wedding, you ain't coming. Done.
Right. All right, little Miss Muffet. Would you say that to Jack?
Yeah, if his mum was a...
Has his mum ever said anything to you that makes you want to have a word?
No.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not.
There's no way you would tell Jack to sit down and talk to his mum.
If he agreed with it, then yes. We've got a very similar situation in our group chat where the mother-in-law, literally so rude, and it's gone on for about a year now, and he's finally agreed that she was out of order. And he went and spoke to her. She spoke over him, shut him down, and he was like, I finally see where you're coming from.
Oh, hallelujah. I just don't think boys see it. Until something happens, they just don't see it.
Well, what I'm hearing is that
there's obviously an issue with her, the mum, for her to have fallen out with that many people. Why is she falling out with
the maid of honour as well? What is a mum and the maid of honour doing?
The mother-in-law and the maid of honour.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Even weirder.
Yeah, weird.
What do you actually do? Like, genuinely advice?
I would speak to him.
Yeah, but what if he's not willing to? Or what if you cause more drama?
It's your mum, your problem.
Yeah, but we purposefully avoided drama in the couple of weeks run up to our wedding because I could not deal with anything else happening.
Would you rather them not be there? Or would you?
Yeah, but the problem is.
Yeah.
Hold no wait.
Yeah,
the problem is if you make rash decisions,
I think it
you'll
depends
have forever to deal with that.
How soon it is to the wedding as well.
So we had an issue come up about a week before the wedding. I think we swept it under the rug.
Too close to deal with ag. A year out, I think we can.
That's another thing we had in the group chat. Somebody moaning about a bridesmaid, and I was like, "It's too late now. Just leave it, ignore it. You won't care." Mm-hmm. But
it's also so hard not to get yourself wound up at all these things, and actually, emotions are heightened a lot of the time.
So heightened.
And if you actually take it out and put it into a box, you're like, "Is it that big of a deal?" But she sounds like a big deal.
She does sound like a big deal. Oh, so
what
difficult.
would you do?
What?
You're not going to go speak to her, are you?
No, I'd ignore it all.
No,
I'd ignore it. No, legit. I'd ignore it and cry after.
Why on your special day do you have to ignore all these idiots?
Because there isn't another option. What's the other option?
Have a word. Sit
and then
down.
what? And then all this drama happens.
No.
And then she's like, "Fine, I'm not coming to the wedding then. If you obviously don't want me there,
don't come there."
Yeah, but then the groom comes back to you and is like, "Why have you told my mum that he can't come?"
Why are you shouting at me? No, it's got to come from him. It's coming from him. All of it's coming from him. He's her son. Your blood mate. Done.
Okay.
Over. That's my answer.
All right.
Put it
I
on
don't
him.
disagree with you, but
if
I
he
just don't think many.
She's not being a dick.
Yeah,
then we've
what?
got a different problem.
So what's that problem then?
You need to build a good strong case. So when he does have a little bit of like, yeah, mum's being a bit of an idiot, well, here's my list, hun.
Yeah, but then you always end up being, oh, well, she took my son away from me.
Do you know what the hardest bit is a lot of people have this ag and some people don't make it to the wedding because of this. And that's the saddest bit about it all.
What do you mean?
That it causes so much conflict in a
100%.
relationship that actual some weddings don't go ahead.
Oh, couples,
Yeah.
as in bride and groom.
And it's really sad.
Yeah, I agree. I said a comment in the group chat today, which I stand by. What did I say? Nobody cares about your wedding as much as you do.
Mhm.
So it is.
But they don't have to.
No, and you will never care about anybody else's wedding. But
It's like
the
in
same.
a job. Like none of my team will care about etiquette as much as I care about
No,
etiquette.
of course,
Because
what did
it's
I
mine.
actually say in this bloody chat? I found my comment, and this is a top tip for everybody ever. I'm going to look at the camera and say it. Lower your expectations that you have of all guests and bridal party, and then your planning will get 500 times easier.
Mm-hmm.
Just whatever expectations you had that somebody would behave for the biggest day of your life, drop it by about 6 points.
Yep.
Because that's where normal people sit,
Mm-hmm.
and you're lucky if there's anything more. It's depressing, isn't it? Sorry.
Preach.
Should we end on a tip?
Yep.
Less depressing tip. Veils.
Yes.
Hmm?
Love a veil. Don't like short veils.
Interesting.
Short veils are for hen-dos. Long veils are for weddings.
Oh, in no case a short veil.
Unless you have a short dress.
So you're going for like that 60s
Yeah.
cool girl vibe. My bride the other week had a cape, not a veil.
Love.
And it literally looked
So chic.
insane because it looked like a veil.
Yeah.
It just wasn't messing with her hair.
So
And I was like, genius.
chic. Love that.
Freaking genius.
Love that.
Because it's the bit, it covered the bit, obviously she had great arms, but you know that bit of your arm where you're like, oh, my arm's out a lot?
Yeah.
Covered that. I still got to do the veil-y bit on the floor instead of the lace trim. It was beautiful. We had a wedding the other day where she had, her mum had passed away, but she'd written like, I love you in a card, and she had that embroidered onto
Love
the bottom
that.
of the
That-
veil.
I nearly
Oh,
cried at that.
yeah, that was stunning. That was beautiful.
So there's my tips. Short veils, hen-dos, unless you've got a short dress.
Mm-hmm.
Long veils for your dresses to go over your dresses at the end.
Yes, yeah, should always go past your dress.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, have a veil. Everybody should have a veil. It's the only time in your life that you get to wear a veil.
Even if you wear it for 10 minutes.
Even if you get
Just
a
get a
cheap
picture.
one, cheap veil.
Get a picture in it if you
Yeah.
don't want it.
Yeah,
Done.
see you later. Bye. Just like, but you've got to match the colour.
Yes, no, you can't have ivory and
Yeah, you can't have a white
White
dress
dress
and an
and
ivory
ivory.
veil, and you can't have, because actually that's also another thing that happened at the wedding the other day. She couldn't decide whether to have the veil or not, and I held it up and I was like, oh no, that is gross because it was the wrong colour, and I was like, it'll just totally cheapen. She looked stunning, so it would just cheapen everything else. I was like, no, we're not doing that. So yeah, everybody should have a veil.
agree.
You don't have to have a veil, but I do think it's one of those things that you'd be like, oh, I never got one.
Yeah.
That's the end of our episode.
That's
I love
the
a
end.
catch up one.
Yeah.
At some point, should we just always just do catch up ones?
Yeah.
I'm saying that, but we got next episode anyway. So next episode is all about photographers.
Ooh, I've got some beef.
Have you?
Beef.
Ooh, okay.
Beefy beef that has taken the people I know in the industry by a storm this week.
Oh, well, let's just crack on with that then. See you all next week.
Bye.